I wanted to do a crafting guide for this build, go over each piece and try and help out anyone who might be trying to play it and is stuck on any of the items. In particular, I'm going to try and go over all the core items, but I wanted to start the video out with how the build performs. I got a ruckus map here with what are going to be some pretty intense shrines, I think, or altars, rituals, whatever the hell they're called. We're currently sitting at 410% rarity, and should be interesting. I think it's a total of 4 in there now. The next one has 1 or 2 more in it. So I think there's 6 in there now, and then we'll add Omniphobia in. Other dude, what is it, whatever his name is. One, two, three, four, 5, 6. Yeah, the build is absolutely walking over this content. But yeah, I'm going to cut to how to craft the core items for this. I rewatched that video back, and there was definitely more than 6 giant exiles in those altars. There's at least somewhere between 7 and 9. I only showed it to show that the build is able to perform in this farm really well. I was getting ready to quit the league, and then I came across this farm, and I've had a ton of fun just bringing a bunch of different builds through and trying to make them successful within the farm. It's pretty much been all I've been doing the whole league once I found it. I just find it super fun, and this build is performing exceptionally well in this farm, especially for 410% rarity. It's really hard to fit that much rarity onto something that will both be able to clear fast and be survivable. So definitely a badass build, and I'm really happy with how it came out. I'm going to go into each of the items as best as I can to show you guys how to craft each thing depending on what you're on and what you might be struggling with. I can't say that I know the exact best way to craft all of this stuff. I usually end up just making a lot of currency in League, so if I burn some, like making mistakes, it's not that big of a deal to me. I definitely know the best way to craft the wand, and I know the best way to craft the clusters, and I know the best way to craft the boots. The rest is, I think, good, but there might be better ways. But we'll go into each thing specifically. I imagine this video is going to be kind of long because I'm going to do the boots live. I think they're one of the more tricky crafts and also very hard to show on Craft of Exile. So I imagine this build's going to take, or this video is going to be long, so just kind of skip ahead to whatever you're on. And yeah, the ghastly eye jewels, what I do is I just buy them fractured. I think this is the easiest way, and then I just reforge lightning until I hit tier 1, or not tier 1, until I hit any ES. These are really kind of a pain in the ass to craft. I think I may not be crafting these the best way. There's probably a better way with fossils, but crafted quite a few like this, and it works out okay. So I don't need this anymore. This is bad. I don't need the minion resist anymore because I remade my ring. But you can also do speed until energy shield, and then hope you exalt slam and lightning damage. Both ways suck. Both ways take a long time. Sometimes you get lucky and they come a little quicker, but those aren't super fun to craft. You might want to explore fossils to see if there's a better way. The minion wand is a pretty simple craft. All the stuff is already on YouTube, or most of it is, so sorry if this is a repeat for you, but I'm just trying to save some time from people having to go all over to a bunch of different videos to find each item. There's two different ways to do it. You can do it with an eye level 82 wand and a 3-socket resonator. It has to be eye level 82 from what I understand. And you just do Shuddering Corroded Metallic, and it's a 1 and 18 to hit your +1/+1 of this. The other way is to use the 4-socket resonator, and with that you go for the item level 84, and that will open up your chance to be able to hit tier 1 minion damage, which you will never hit, but you know, never hurts to try. The way you decide between which one you're going to do, 3-socket or 4-socket, all depends on the price of the resonators. So 4-sockets are really high, which they get sometimes when you like, especially if you're trying to do it a few times and hit high minion damage. Like I alone have been able to buy out an entire market. There's not usually a huge market of the 4-socket resonators, so sometimes it's easier to go to the 3-socket. But yeah, this is a 1 in 12 here to hit. Just roll it around here until we hit it. I'll try to simulate the craft. We hit tier 6. This is okay. Yeah, I mean, you can spend a lot of money trying to hit high minion damage. It's pretty tough to hit. We also hit it with tier 2 attacks, cast speed. I mean, I probably wouldn't annul here. I would probably just sell this wand and remake another one. But if you fill your suffixes, what you have to do is annul. And yeah, Wolfer 10, we didn't hit that because that's definitely not going to happen very often. So from here you have a couple of different options to finish out your suffixes. You're going to lock prefixes. If there's one mod like this, I might take the 50-50 and try to save some money. In this case, I am losing money for sure. Unlucky. Dude, why does it add like right here? If you had a couple like this, I would just scour it and then recraft it on to keep it cheap. But two ways to finish it from here. Oh, and to before you start any of this, minions are aggressive is massively beneficial for this build. I ran without it for a bit, and I was dying so much because my dudes would just be like standing there not attacking. I didn't think that the 8-yard aggro range would do much for these guys. I thought they were already over 8, but this wand is like, it's made all the difference. So back at the beginning, before you put in your resonators on, you would try to fracture this and then start where we started with it. But for the sake of where we're at now, the way you finish this craft is Reforge Caster, and you can either hit crit chance or you can hit minion attack speed. You might be able to hit cast speed too. I'm pretty sure you can. There's a lot of mods that you can hit that aren't cast speed. Actually, I guess you can get global crit too. So this goes okay. Your weighting is pretty good to hit. Cast speed, the downside to this is you can fill your suffixes and break your wand. Yeah, so we're dead. We got to go to Annul. Especially if you hit high minion damage, I would absolutely not do this way. Something like this where it's just like kind of a whatever minion damage, I might go this route. The way you can do this without the potential of bricking your wand is your prefixes cannot be changed and veiled ward. And then craft on cool damage over time. Nope. Yep. And then you unveil. And it's an okay chance to hit. I don't know exactly what the chances are. I would consider this a pretty good outcome because it's not, you're not going to hit it on the second try every time. So it just depends on like how much veiled orbs cost. Yeah, this is still pretty lucky, I would think. You can go a lot without hitting it, or you can hit it on the first one, you know, as veiled orbs go. But yeah, I would go this route if I had high minion damage and I didn't want the option to brick my wand suffixes or prefixes, or yeah, no suffixes. And then once you get to this stage, you would remove that, and if you go for the minions are aggressive, then your other suffix is already filled, and you just craft on trigger, or for my build, cold resist, because I don't have a lot of buttons and the mana is low and I need the cold resist. But if you don't have the aggressive, I would YOLO a Crusader's Orb. And Wrath I run on the Spectre, so that's no good. We're looking for Zealotry, and obviously, I don't know, the way I do these is like, it doesn't matter what it hits. If it hits what Zealotry, then like, woohoo, you win the gamble. If it misses, then you just have a dead mod on your wand, and I use it anyways. But that's what you're looking for. And then you can craft on, you know, stats or trigger, or, you know, whatever you need for your build. And that's the wand. Cluster Jewel, large cluster, minion damage. Item level 84, very important. 2 different ways to do it. You can alteration spam around and augment until you get tier 1 increased effect. That with that. It takes a little bit of time, like maybe 15 minutes, but it's not that insane to hit. And from here, you would just buy a bunch of Kraken Chimerals and imprint it, and then you just fucking regal'd, Annul until you hit what you're looking for. And if at any point it bricks, oops, dude, this ad is like insane. If at any point it bricks, you just imprint it back and you go again. This is how I crafted mine initially, but the Kraken Chimerals are like 0.4 divine each, so it was super cheap to do this. It is not probably super cheap now. I think they're like 0.8 divine. I don't know at what point it becomes better to do it the other way, but I would think at 0.8 it's probably too expensive to do it this way. But you know, if you're watching this in the future and it's early league, then this is a very viable option early on if they're cheap. The other way to do it is to Regal will go speed, and you just sit here and spam speed Reforge until you get 3% minion cast and attack speed with increased effect. So we'll remove one of these, cast effect. So you're looking for that, and then get it to 4, affix, and then you fracture. And we hit increase effect. That's perfect. You can You can also hit this, and that is a good result. Or you can hit the other two, and then the cluster is dead to you, but you can still sell it and reduce the costs of loss there. People will still buy these 3%, 35% increase effect just to use as like temporary clusters. because no one likes to craft these, I guess. I don't know, they're super easy to craft, but it is what it is. So what you do here is, it depends on which one you hit. If you hit minions have 3% increased attack speed, cast speed, then you're going to harvest, reforge, life or defense, depending on which one you want. I want ES, so I just spam this until I hit increased effect with tier 1 ES. I think this one's a bit trickier to hit than if you hit the other fracture. But eventually you will hit it, and then you just exalt slam a 4th mod, and if it's a shitty 4th mod, then you either keep it as is, or you try to YOLO Annul, and if you miss, then you go again, and you just keep rolling it around until you hit what you want. If you hit increased effect, then you do the same thing, except with speed. Harvest, reforge, speed, and you just reforge until you hit tier 3 speed with tier 1 energy shield. And this almost was really nice, really quick. But yeah, that's how you craft the clusters. The gloves, I didn't mean to craft these nice, but sometimes we get lucky when crafting. What I meant to do with these was essence spam low until I got tier 1 energy shield, increase energy shield, something like that, but tier 1, that's not super common to hit, so I'm not going to sit here and roll it for too long. But yeah, you're looking for tier 1 energy shield. With an open suffix, and then I would craft on minion damage. And there's other ways to do these. You can essence on the minion damage to get 10% more damage, but you probably want to fracture something. I don't ever usually put that much money into my gloves because they're not that impactful. But from here, excuse me, from here I would just Eldritch Chaos Orb until a tier 1 resist, and then I would just exalt slam another resist that was decent to me, and then I'd respec or reroll whatever highest resist I had into cold, because that's usually what the build has trouble with, since you're running Purity of Fire and a Fire Flask. The cold resist is the one that has a hard time keeping up. But yeah, those are pretty straightforward. The ring is pretty badass. The increased attack speed and cast speed is a lot better than minion damage, and it's also much easier to do. Give me a sec though, and I'll get back into this. Next item would be the shield. I didn't craft this myself, so I'm not going to give you a tutorial on how to craft it, because I didn't really look into the best way to craft it. I have to guess that fracturing the minion skill gems would be ideal, and then you just Essence of Woe until a high tier minion damage would be my guess. You can also use recombinators. I know a little bit about them, but I don't know a ton about them, and I've looked into them for a little bit, and they just annoy me, and I'm old school, so I don't want to fucking do that. So I would fracture minion skills and Essence of Woe until high minion damage. But if you want to look into how recombinators work and figure out the multi-mod crafting and all that, then have at it. I just was able to find this on trade, so that's how I did that one. The ring is pretty badass, and it's pretty much how we get the majority of our rarity. Fun story about this ring is I spent like 300 divine trying to get a double synthesized implicits to where I wanted, and then I spent another 100 divine to get the stats perfect, and then I was going to Fortitude reflect this, and then I applied the Hidden Course lock and found out that you cannot reflect synthesized items. So, it is what it is. I haven't played the game in a long while, like a year and a half, two, something like that, and I didn't know a lot about reflecting, so expensive lesson there. I also don't know about the 4 to 2 reflect. I've looked around for information on reflecting, and it seems that 4 and 2 is super rare. I tried to do the triple positive focused amulet on the other league, and it was I was like 30 Hidden locks in that were like 200 divine apiece and still hadn't hit anything, and it just absolutely destroyed all enjoyment for the game. So, when you're not excited about a mirror dropping anymore because it's just 4 more missed attempts, like, it's time to do something else. So I'm not looking to do the 4 and 2. I have a feeling the 4 and 2 is as rare as the triple positive on the focused. I don't know that for sure, but I watched Gamer Report try to reflect his ring, and he hit 3-3 like 25 times in a row, and that's enough for me. I'm good on that craft. I'm not going to try it 4-2. So for me, it's 3-3, and the way I crafted it was to put bone rings on your filter and run a few maps and get a bunch of these, and then you just roll them around until you get tier 1 cast speed. The tier 1 cast speed is way more damage than the minion damage, and it also makes your ring easier to craft because you can get your suffixes right and then work on the prefixes. But yeah, you just roll these around until you hit that. I don't know if you have to annul or not. I did, but I'm not positive you have to. But you get something like that, and then you roll this one around until you get T1 rarity on your suffix, not on your prefix. It has to be on the suffix. But pretend that's a suffix tier 1, and then you recombinate them together, and you will have a 1 in 3 of hitting a double suffix rare mod. And you'll probably want to prepare a few because pretty easy to brick it from here. But I do suffixes cannot be changed, and again, there may be better ways to recombinate this shit. I don't know. I don't really care for the recombinators. I know they're incredibly powerful, but I just don't care. But you're more than welcome to look into that yourself and try to learn how all that works. But this is essentially what I'm looking for. I actually think a high roll tier 4 would be okay. Oh no, where did my other ring go? Alright, got myself lost in my stash there for a second. We're back. So I was negative 68 on this one, and I think it was a 41% before reflect, and I don't think it hit a very good multiplier. Yeah, 41 from 68, that's like almost like a 1.5x or something. So with that, I'm still negative 24 over. So I got a lot of room to play with. I could probably go with a well-rolled tier 4. So this would probably be fine, but if you want, you can do as many of these as you want. But it's just not like super high odds to hit lightning resist to begin with. And then you still got to reflect this after you get everything done, so you might have to be making a few of these. At this point, you would want to make sure you catalyst on speed. You don't have to do this at this step. It's just don't forget to do it before you reflect, because that really sucks. You lose a bunch of cast speed. But here I would it doesn't let you do it this way, but you're looking for suffixes cannot be changed to the wild bristle. What the fuck's it called? Wild bristle thorn matrix. Wild bristle wild bristle matron to get your one divine suffixes cannot be changed, and then you pretty much just exalt annul. If I hit something like tier 1 ES, then we're going to null that off, because what I'm looking for here is 2 dead mods with a tier 1 rarity. So something like that would be decent, although kind of high. When this reflects, it's going to be like, I think I did it on my other ring. Yeah, so it'll be damage to attacks against you. So if you hit like a really high one, you're actually it's going to be kind of annoying. Everything's going to be hitting you with like extra bullshit. So not too big of a deal, but there's other dead mods I would prefer, like evasion or something like that. But yeah, you're looking for that, only tier 1, and then yeah, like evasion would be perfect. And essentially what we're doing here is just looking for two dead mods, so that when you reflect, you can reflect the lightning, which is good for you, and then you're going to reflect 2 more, like 95% of the time, into the negative, and then you'll want your rarity and your cast speed to be positive. So I think 3/3 is like basically what you're going to get every single time. I used a course lock here because I just had 3 of them in my stash, and I didn't feel like rolling rings anymore, but you don't have to. You can just recraft this over and over until you hit it, and I'm sure it would be much more cost effective. I think I blew a ton of money by using the locks, but I was just so over this ring at this point that I didn't give a shit. But yeah, something like this would be perfect if it was T1. Especially if you're ES based. If you're life based, you might not want that. It's like not very big, 3's nothing, but yeah, you're just looking to reflect this, get that to go negative, that to go negative, that to go negative, and the rest to go positive. And then you have the fattest MF ring of all time for this league. Okay, we have our more money. We are going to buy a bunch of Black Morgans, and Cricket Cameros. Buy a bunch of them. Buy some high quality Warlock boots, and then Crusaders Exalted Orb them, and put them in the Harvest and reforge them to Elder. Then Alteration spam them until all raise Spectre. I don't like alteration spamming, so I'm going to imprint here. I think the cheapest way to get a second influence is to just regal and then exalt slam all the way up to 6, and then start annul exalting, annul exalting. You'll see me do that later, maybe. But the reason I don't like to do that with these boots is because I have to null off the suffixes later, and I don't want... Ew, dude. Why does that keep happening? I have to null off the suffixes later, and ideally I want as few suffixes on there as possible. So we reforge influence, dun, dun. And then orb of, is that right? No, and we miss. This part's usually not too bad, but I've had it go so insanely bad before. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. No. So you get +2 Spectre. Oh, that is about as good as it gets. Normally what happens is you have a bunch of suffixes here, and you have to annul the raise Spectre down to it being the only suffix, and that's where, like, this can become a nightmare, because you have to hit the 50-50, and then you have to hope that you don't annul off the Spectre. And I had it go so bad once, it was like fucking 200 divine or something. It was ridiculous. So we're gonna get rid of the prefixes. When you lock suffix there and then scour, it's gonna take us down to +2. Isolated, where we can take this to imprint. And this is the step I missed on these other boots, which is why I have to recraft these, is because I forgot to imprint here. But this will checkpoint us, so that at any point during this craft, if it goes bad, we can come back to this stage, which is the bulk of the money, usually. So now we got this. What we're going to do is take a bunch of these. I have one prepared already. Yeah. So what I do here, since this is kind of a pain in the ass to hit, sure. These need to be, oh shit. These need to be eye level 85 to hit maximum fire, tier 2. So I just buy a bunch of these. You can do lines too, but I find this easier. It's like a 1 in 600 to hit this, I think. So it's worth spending 10 or 20 chaos for a bunch of bases and being able to speed roll these. What is my internet doing right now? +1, no good. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna imprint here. The way I usually hit this, I think the easiest way is to, yeah, just exalt. And if you hit something great. If you don't, then just start annul exalting, annul exalt, trying to keep it at 6 and 5 affixes, so you have a reduced chance to remove your max fire. Then we get here, and we have +3, perfect. And then now what we're going to do, the reason why we're making a second base is so we can put another influence on here. Actually, this one already has suffixes locked, so we'll keep that as our 2-mod base, or single mod. Reforged influence. Okay, so the reason we did that is because we're going to Annul lock this, and these are my log boots, these are my other boots. We're going to Annul lock this, and since we have the +3 max fire res, that's going to give us 1 result, and then it's going to choose between these 2 influence mods, and since it has to pick between them, it's going to reroll our stats again. I tried to set up where I did multiple different prefixes, and it kept giving me the same results. And if you're not sure what I mean right now, you'll see here in a second. But I think maybe if you could get a second suffix as the influence, it might reroll it. But with all the different prefixes you can get, it'll give you the same result. So I just do 2. If you're trying to do these boots without the elevated fire resist, what you would do is come in here, go to boots, and then you would just start going down the list, trying to get as many boots off the trade site with as many different prefixes as possible. So I would go through and just kind of write them all out and get one of each of these. Can't do elder. Get one of each of these. One of each of these. Basically as many boots as you want to prep. I usually get like 10 or so. And for each different one you get, you'll be able to see a new Annul lock result. So we'll start with our single one first. 21 fire resist. Not going to cut it. And here we have a 50-50 chance to take the max fire. In this case we took the lightning, unfortunate, but it re-rolls it, as you can see. So we get 2 uses out of each Annul lock. And then if you're going for not the elevated fire, you can see how you can do like 10 different boots and it'll re-roll. It'll re-roll every time, so you can get like the perfect suffixes. There we go. So tier 1 ES too, kind of. So we apply that. I think I exalt here. I don't know what to block, but we'll block something and just see what happens. No good. Okay, Unlucky. No, come on, man. Okay, back to it. This is the most cost efficient. I don't know if I care enough to keep doing it like that though. Oh shit. Hmm. Oh, dude, that's speed though, bro. So hard to hit T1 ES. This is a tough call. Gotta put the fucking keep. Gotta sure, we'll take that. Dude, I leveled these divines up and I fucking had 3 leftover temples. And I hit fucking level 4 on all 3 gems. It was insane. Alright, try on the new kicks here. Do I feel the difference? Oh, it is so much faster though. This is such a tough call, dude. 50% is so ass. But 49 looks so good. 50, 75, 64. Oh my god, that's nothing, dude. What are we even doing here? Alright. Yeah, we're redoing these. I think we'll do suffixes cannot be changed. And try to hit a couple 50-50s here. Yeah. Oh. Damn. Okay. I forgot about that. Speak. Alright. It's done. We go again. Bro. I guess you just exalt flame here and fucking pray to God. I don't know what we block. But I mean, this is pretty much get it. That's how you do it. Or wait. Yeah. Okay. Please? Yeah. Please? Get the fuck out of here. We'll take that. I don't have it in me to try for the next one. How is this such low energy shield 2-1? How is this so low? There's not even a flat ES roll. Oh, there is. I guess it's just not that much. Damn. Alright. We got 5 move speed and fuck. I really thought that was going to be a lot more ES. Anyways, that's how you craft them. Good luck.